welcome to game number 8 of week number 9 as we reach the halfway mark of the week here in the Hometown Football League. I'm Big Paulie coming to you. Today it's a Battle of Ohio. Cleveland, whose only loss was to Cincinnati at home, now travels to Cincinnati for the divisional rematch. Cleveland 6-1, Cincinnati 3-4. We got the third and the fourth best rated passers, Otto Graham and Ken Anderson. The leading rusher right now in the league, Jim Brown. So this should be a very interesting game. Jim Brown also leading amongst non-kickers. In fact, he's leading everybody in scoring right now with 13 touchdowns. So we'll get this one started. Show you the game screen, and Cleveland will lead the Lower North coming into week 10. Regardless, Cincinnati trying to keep up with Baltimore for second place. In fact, if Cincinnati wins, they will own the tiebreaker. A cold day at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, 44 degrees. Of course, this is Paul Brown that's going to be coaching Cleveland. So here he goes to Cincinnati, and the stadium's named after him. The wind is going to be 10 to 20 miles per hour. No precipitation. Of course, it would be raining at that temperature level. I'll control Cincinnati as the human team, and Cleveland will be the computer-run team. Cleveland won the toss and deferred, so Cincinnati will receive. Quarterbacks are going to be Otto Graham and Ken Anderson, who I was just speaking of. Paul Brown coaching Cleveland, and Sam White, the ex-Bengal quarterback who Paul Brown coached when Brown coached Cincinnati. He will be your coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, and at some point he might get on the house microphone and say, "You're not living in Cleveland." Old joke there, folks. Going back to like the late 80s, early 90s. Cleveland is in white. Cincinnati is in the dark, I'd say black and orange numbering and lettering. Yeast, Watson, and Jones back deep for Cincinnati, and we get this one started. And it's Yeast who takes it out to the 22, a gain of 17. For Cincinnati, here's your starting offense. Dillon, Johnson, Hujmanzada, Green. The first two are running backs. The last two are your wide receivers. Ross at tight end. Anderson at quarterback. Anthony Munoz, the Hall of Famer, leads the offensive line. Steinbach, Johnson, Montoya, and Anderson, the remainder of the offensive line. For Cleveland, pretty solid defense. A bunch of 8s and 9s in there. Ford, Burnett, Rimkus, and Shirk, your front four. Banks, Johnson, Matthews, your linebackers. Dixon and Menefield, Darden and Lewis are your defensive backs. And on 1st and 10, Corey Dillon at tailback. We're going to use him right away, trap right. Now, Cleveland is lined up in a short, tight formation, so we're going to change it to a medium pass, medium slant to Hujmanzada. And he's got it. A marker down.
Holding offense. Number 65, 10-yard penalty.
You hate to see a gain on the first play and it get wiped out on a penalty. That's what happened there as Montoya commits the holding penalty. And that makes it 1st and 20. To Pete Johnson on a dive. Just want to do something basic here. And he finds a hole and gains 7 yards. And it was Lewis, as I open up a Coke, who made the stop for Cleveland. 2nd and 13. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. A.J. Green will go to him on the short out. Completed to Green. He gains 7 to set up 3rd and 6. Kenny Anderson, an accurate passer, can scramble when he needs to. They'll go to Chris Collinsworth. Short hitch. Instead, it's a dump off to Pete Johnson for no gain. So Cincinnati will go 3 and a penalty and out. And we have, who we have back to punt for Cincinnati? Pat McAnally out of Harvard. You don't see too many NFL players in this league.
Illegal block. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
To finish my thought, we don't have a lot of players in the hometown football league, I should say, that are out of Ivy League schools, and I think McAnally might be one of the few. Penalty against Cleveland on the punt return, that brings them back to the 19. Their offensive lineup, Brown and Motley at running back, Mitchell and Warfield at wideout, Kellen Winslow Jr. at tight end. The picture of him is erroneous there. One of these days I'm going to fix that. Graham at quarterback, Thomas, Hickerson, Mack, Willis, and Shafrath are your offensive line. Cincinnati has these fine folks at defense: Smith, Dunlap, Atkins, Reed, your front four, Spikes, LeClaire, and Perfect at linebacker. Parrish, Riley, Casanova, and Nelson are going to be your defensive backs. And on 1st and 10, I'm going to take a good guess that they give it to Jimmy Brown here. Nope, Motley. Marion Motley picks up 4, and Atkins was hurt. Injured his back, but he will stay in the game. Benton comes on as a third wideout, and now it's 2nd and 6 from the 23. Brown close to the first down marker. He gained 5. And Jim Brown has now gone over 1,000 yards on the season. He was 4 yards shy of that mark coming in, and that 5-yard gain makes him the first HTFL player to cross into quadruple digits rushing for the season. 3rd and a yard, ball at the 28. They give to Brown again, but a marker. Hold up.
Holding offense. Number 51, 10-yard penalty.
And it's Mack who cost the Browns a first down with the holding call. 3rd and 11 from the 18. Looking for Winslow, but incomplete. So Cleveland will punt. Cleveland has the wind in their face for quarter number 1. So they'll have the wind advantage for quarters 2 and 3. This is Gary Collins back to punt, the hero of the 1964 NFL Championship game. And that was fair caught by Yeast. Punt went 44 yards. So Cincinnati has it back, 10:51 left. Opening quarter, and we have no score. We'll go Dillon on an off-tackle right play. Cleveland played tight on the line. A 5-yard gain regardless by Dillon. Good blocking by Pete Johnson. 2nd and 5. Green. Medium hitch. Incomplete. Looking for Ross on a dump-off, but no catch. So Cincinnati brings their 3 wide receiver package in, which will include Chris Collinsworth. Medium pass. And we'll go to Hujmanzadeh for it on 3rd and 5. It's a screen, so we'll screen it to Dillon instead. It's a blitz, so it'll be a screen instead. Incomplete. Looking for Dillon. And tipped by Johnson for Cleveland. Cincinnati will have to punt. And here's Pat McAnally again. He was the inspiration, by the way, behind one of John Madden's books, 1 knee equals 2 feet. I was watching the preseason game. CBS had this preseason game back when they had the the NFC package between the Jets and Cincinnati, because during the preseason, the networks could just carry the games they wanted to. And it was the night they finished the Pine Tar game between the Royals and the Yankees, because Pat Summerall made a mention of it before the game started. And it was the first game our family taped. We had just gotten a video recorder to tape games, and don't tape games and to watch, video rentals, because VCRs were just a thing back then. And that was the famous game where John Madden, there was a call where somebody made an end zone catch and a touchdown. He looked like he was out of bounds, but he got a knee in. And that was the game where that said, well, one knee must equal 2 feet then. And he credited Pat McNally. He said, well, that guy's from Harvard. He'll draw up an equation for that. Okay, story time over. First and 10 at the 13. That game was in 1983, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Brown fumbles. And it was Willis who covered it up. Loss of a yard. So Brown goes back to an even 1,000 yards. For second and 11, ball to 12. Graham back, looking, picked off, and returned for a touchdown.
The previous play is under review.
But we're going to have a review, folks. Stand by.
The ruling on the field stands.
No, that's going to count.
Interception.
Parrish. You see him there. The second touchdown, he's not the second touchdown, the second interception he has had this year, and it is a pick six. Here's your extra point try. And it's good by Graham, 7-0. Let's take a look. It was a 41-yard interception return. And with the speed Cleveland had on offense, you wouldn't think he would have gotten in there for the score, but he did. 8:56 left in the first quarter. Here's Eric Metcalf, the son of Terry Metcalf, who plays for St. Louis's Maroons. He'll get the ball, but he doesn't return it. A touchback. First and 10 from the 20 for Cleveland, who are now in trouble. Incomplete. Winslow. You got to remember that Cincinnati beat Cleveland 38-21 in week number 3, and that's the only loss Cleveland has had. So maybe Cincinnati has Cleveland's number, just like, if you take some of the great boxers of all time, Rocky Marciano probably wouldn't beat Jack Johnson. Second and 10, ball to 20. Johnson was an excellent boxer, and Marciano never faced a great boxer in his career. Motley with a 1-yard gain. LeClaire makes the stop for the Bengals. Third and 9. Incomplete. That was a pass intended for Kellen Winslow Jr., so the Browns having all kinds of trouble early on. Fourth and 9. Gary Collins back to punt. And the return by Yeast was for 5 yards. The punt went 44, so the net was 39. We have 7:54 left, and I've already gone nearly 13 minutes. So we're off to a slow start. Corey Dillon, trap right on first and 10. Tight formation being shown by Cleveland, so I'm going to go medium fly to Green. And he's got it. A gain of 15 yards. First and 10, ball to 45 of Cleveland now. Dillon, trap right. Blitz coming, so we're going to change it to a screen. Incomplete. As my screen jumps for some reason. I don't know why. Second and 10, ball to 45. We'll give it to Pete Johnson, give Dillon a rest. That's a gain of 2 yards. Hammered by Frank Menefield. Third and 8, ball to 43. They'll go 3 wide again. And look for Mr. A.J. Green on a short crossing route. Anderson back. No, he could not find Green there. And Anderson has started 3 for 7, 22 yards. So a 4th and 8, ball at the 43. So it's going to be a pooch punt by Pat McInally. And it goes to the end zone anyway. A touchback. Now a 1st and 10 for Cleveland, as I find out that a tropical depression has formed off of Florida and the southeast coast. And I'm up in Tampa. That might not be good. 1st and 10 at the 20. Keep in mind, folks, I'm recording this on September 11th, so you're seeing this September 18th. So, hello from 7 days past. 2nd and 10, ball to 20. Give to Brown. Brown's got some yardage. And he goes for the second time over 1,000 yards today. That was a gain of 7. So he's been up and down and up. So that's the second time today he's gone over 1,000. 3rd and 3 at the 27. It's Otto Graham trying to find somebody. And he was looking for Jim Brown, but it fell incomplete. 4th and 3 for Cleveland. 5:05 left, first quarter. The East caught it on the run.
Illegal block. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
And sometimes when you make catches on a punt return on the run, that kind of thing happens. Backs Cleveland, not Cincinnati, up a little bit. 5 minutes to go. And it is 7-0. Cleveland trailing still. Pitch right to Corey Dillon on 1st and 10. Cleveland playing in tight. And that's a gain of 5. Matthews makes the stop for Cleveland. It's not rocking at the moment. Hujmanzada, short hitch. Anderson can scramble. 30, 40, out to the 42, a gain of 11. And a new set of downs for the Bengals. They tease the 3 wide set, go back to their base formation. They'll look for Kevin Ross, not Kevin Ross, but Dan Ross. Medium fly route on 1st and 10. This might be a good one. A dump off instead to Pete Johnson, who fumbled, and Cleveland has it. Clay Matthews forced to fumble. Darden picked it up. And now Cleveland gets that break they were looking for. 1st and 10 at the Bengal 45 with 3:27 left. Jim Brown gets loose, a gain of 14.
Encroachment defense.
And it will stand.
Number 74, 5-yard penalty.
Reed called for encroachment. And now Cleveland in good shape at the 31 of Cincinnati. 1st and 10. Graham, incomplete. Winslow with his second drop of the day. That is not Kellen Winslow Jr. That is in the picture, Kellen Winslow Sr. Like I said, I got to get that fixed. 2nd and 10, ball at the 31. This is Otto Graham. Motley fumbles, recovered by Cincinnati. It was Spikes who might have forced the fumble. Nelson picked it up for the Bengals. And now each team with a turnover in rapid succession. Cleveland has already turned it over twice, and Cincinnati, on that last series, committed their first turnover. We have 2:55 left now, opening quarter. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. That's a gain of 2. And it is Johnson who made the tackle for Cleveland. They'll go double tight end. And look for Corey Dillon on a pitch left. Right into where Cleveland was shifting. And that's a 5-yard gain to set up 3rd and 3. Base formation. Play action short pass to Ross. And you're not going to dress for less going to Ross there. That was incomplete. 4th and 3. Here's Pat McAnally, and he's got a wind behind him, so he could boom one here. And a return by Metcalf of 10 yards. Punt went 51, the net was 41. 1st and 10 for Cleveland. Apologize for this first quarter going so slowly. Usually we get them done in 15 minutes, but this will probably go 20 minutes before it ends. 1st and 10 at the 37. It's probably that story I told about 1 knee equaling 2 feet. Loss of 6 as Graham runs into Takeo Spikes. You see him there at the University of Auburn. 2nd and 16 at the 31. Dueling 14s in this game. That's an incomplete pass. We'll check down to Kellen Winslow Jr. Incomplete. 3rd and 16. Ball at the 36. The throw to the sideline. Incomplete. Looking for Paul Warfield. And one more punt left in this quarter. Gary Collins. He's not punting from hanger 18. And that punt went 36, returned 2 yards by Yeast. Gary Collins, the actor, and Gary Collins, the football player, not one and the same. 7-0 Cincinnati. Trap right, Corey Dillon. Loss of a yard, and that'll end the first quarter. Cincinnati 7, Cleveland nothing. Your upcoming HTFL football games for the next 3 days. Of course, we take the weekend off. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we start the second half of week number 9. Washington at Dallas. That'll be a huge game for Dallas if they can win that. 7 o'clock on Monday. 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Carolina that ran into a speed bump up at Seattle, losing to them. They go and play Tennessee and Nashville. Those two teams. All these games, by the way, are week 3 rematches. And then we start the 2-a-days on Wednesday, and we will have 2 games a day on Thursday and Friday. Atlanta goes to Indianapolis, and then another big game Wednesday night at 9. Denver goes to Kansas City. Thursday's games will be 5:30 and 7 o'clock, by the way, just as the season progresses, right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports channel. Thanksgiving, we might have to do a game at 9:30 and a game at 11 in the morning, so get your turkey ready early, folks. Anyway, back to the game with 7-0 Cincinnati. We have 61 yards on the board for Cincinnati. And Otto Graham really struggling. 1 out of 10 for Cleveland. 40 yards of total offense. So as Otto goes, so does Cleveland. And that's probably why they're trailing right now. Ball at the 34 for a 2nd and 11. We're going to screen it to Pete Johnson. And Johnson gains 8. Banks makes the stop for Cleveland. So now Cincinnati with the 3rd and 3 situation upcoming. As I reset my slides for the 3rd quarter. There you go, folks. I've done that now. You can't see it, but that's what I was doing, and that's why I was stalling. Double tight end set. They'll go to Bob Trumpy. Short cross. And Trump, acting presidential, he's got the first down and a gain of 31. Let's take a look at Bob Trumpy, who was the longtime NBC analyst. Played for the Bengals in the late 60s, early 70s. Has been used sparingly. He had 4 catches for 47 yards in that shootout with Baltimore, and this is the first catch he has made since that game. Dillon on trap right, 1st and 10 from the Cleveland 27 as they look to build on that 7-0 lead. A gain of 5. Lewis on the tackle for Cleveland. It'll be Green, short slant. 2nd and 5. But a marker.
Ball start. Offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty.
Steinbach called for the false start, and it's now 2nd and 10 at the 27. They'll go Dillon pitch right. Dillon's going to get the first down and a little bit more. A gain of 14. Dillon, so far, 7 carries, 35 yards. 1st and 10 at the 13. They're going to look to TJ Hujmanzada on a medium slant route. Pater, touchdown, Bengals. The extra point try by Graham is good. And it's
Offsides,
14-0.
defense,
And
5-yard penalty.
they'll be kicking from the 40 instead of the 35. We have 11:45 left, opening half. 2nd quarter now. Metcalf back deep. Will he get a chance to return this kick from the 40? Yes, he will. Out past the 20, actually at the 20, a return of 22. So Cleveland in a rut. They have now trailed 14-0. 6-1 coming in. They were tied for the best record in the league along with Washington and New York. 1st and 10 at the 20. Motley picks up 5 yards. LeClaire was injured on that last play. Simmons is going to come in to spell him. He's the linebacker out of North Carolina. And he hasn't made any tackles so far this season, any meaningful stats. 2nd and 5 at the 25. That's a throw and a catch, and that was good to Kellen Winslow Jr., a gain of 18. Parrish makes the tackle for Cincinnati. 1st and 10 at the 43 to Marion Motley. Gains 5 yards. Motley, out of Nevada. Let's take a look at his history so far. Second banana, of course, behind Jim Brown, but he has had some good games. He had 59 and 12 carries against Buffalo week 4. And so far, he has 9 catches, 113 yards on the season. We'll look at Jim Brown probably a little later in the game. 2nd and 5. Long throw, and it's caught. 31 yards to Bobby Mitchell. Now Cleveland in business. And much like the game we had done prior to this between Pittsburgh and Baltimore held that 14-0 lead, and it kind of gave them a false sense of security. Could be seeing the same thing here. 1st and 10 at the 21. Graham, touchdown to Paul Warfield. And here's your extra point try. Good by Matt Barr. And it's 14-7. We have 8:59 left in the opening half. Now keep in mind, teams changed ends, although you don't physically see that on the game board. Cleveland now has the wind at their backs, so that might have made a difference in the passing game. Graham is now 4 out of 13. He started 1 for 10, so he had a good series, and that was a 5-play, 80-yard drive. So they got it done very efficiently. Yeast back deep for Cincinnati. Takes it at about the 5, and out to the 20 for a return of 16. He actually cut it at the 4. So Cincinnati's got to keep matriculating the ball down the field, as they were able to do when they had the win advantage in the first quarter. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. Oh, trapped behind the line. Burnett stops him for a 1-yard loss. They'll go Hujmanzada. Medium fly on 2nd and 11. Anderson forced out of the pocket. He threw it to A.J. Green on a check down, and that only gained 2 yards. 3rd and 9. Shotgun, man in motion. The look for Chris Collinsworth here. And let's see. What's the play here? Medium slant route. So look for number 80. And there he is. 1st down. Gain of 16. Collinsworth out of the University of Florida. Always had that elongated neck. Pitch right to Corey Dillon on 1st and 10. Dillon with the gain of 8. Matthews makes the stop for Cleveland. 2nd and 2. Could Cincinnati keep the pressure on the Cleveland defense here? Sweep left, Corey Dillon. Cleveland was somewhat shifted on the left side, and it's no gain. The Ford made the tackle. Ford being Len Ford, number 80. Could also play offense sparingly out of the University of Michigan. 3rd and 2. Screen to Dillon. Blitz coming, so this should be the perfect call. But Anderson didn't like something he saw. He called a timeout, and that leaves Cincinnati 2 for the remainder of the half. Ross will get it. Short hitch. And that's caught on a 1st down, a gain of 10. So Cincinnati now in the plus side of the field at the Cleveland 45. Sweep right, Corey Dillon, 1st and 10 from there. And Dillon's going to be trapped for a loss of 2. Burnett on the stop for Cleveland. Short hitch to A.J. Green. And he's got it. Just short of the first down. And I don't want to waste a second timeout challenging it, so I'm just going to try to get the first down on third. 3:57 left. I'm going to keep those timeouts in case I need them later on. Dive with Dillon. Blitz coming, but we're going to keep it on. He's got the first down, I think. Yes, gain of a yard. Collinsworth. We're going to look for the touchdown here to Collinsworth. A long fly route. Touchdown, Chris Collinsworth. His longest catch of the year, 34 yards. And it's 20-7. Graham, who has had trouble making extra points in the HTFL on a couple of occasions, doesn't miss this time, and it's 21-7 with 2:31 left. Metcalf back deep along with Mitchell and Motley, I should point out. I don't think I mentioned it prior to that. And it's Metcalf returning it to the 27, return of 20. So Otto Graham's got work to do. I think I said that already. They're down 14, but now it's 21-7. They're down 14 again. 2:23 left in the half. To Jim Brown, who might become a non-factor.
Holding offense.
The way this
Number
game's
73,
going.
10-yard penalty.
Thomas called for an offensive hold, so it's 1st and 10 at the 17. Cleveland, by the way, I should also point out, as I am up, I like to point out stuff. This is a combination of the Browns before the first Browns franchise moved to Baltimore, and the expansion Browns from 1999 onward. 1st and 20, ball to 17, a marker before the play.
False start. Offense. Number 73, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And they're getting Thomas for everything. And it's 1st and a cab ride from Zinnia, Ohio. 25 yards. At the 12. Quick throw intended for Benton, but Otto Graham could not find the mark. This is really going to hurt his passing rating. He's 4 for 14. 1 interception and a touchdown. 2nd and 25 from the 12. Incomplete. Didn't see who the intended receiver is. Maybe if I look at it on replay. It was the 49 on top, which is Jim Benton. 3rd and 25 at the 12. This is Otto Graham. That's underneath the Mitchell, way short of the first down. They needed 25 and they got 8. Cleveland punting with the win, so I am going to go for a punt block here and see what happens. Nothing. Fair caught. No, there was nothing on the return. It wasn't a fair catch. He just didn't go anywhere. Yeast. On the return, the punt went 48. So the net was 48. And now Cincinnati can really go for the kill here. Up 21-7 with 1:56 and 2 timeouts. Hujmanzada, medium slant on 1st and 10. Anderson scrambles and picks up 4 yards. Dixon on the stop. No huddle being applied by Cincinnati. Crossed A.J. Green. Blitz coming, so we're going to change that route to a short slant. Because usually they could beat the slants. That's a nice throw. Pete Johnson gained 21. They'll keep the no huddle going here. Medium pass to Hujmanzada. If they complete this, I would call a timeout. Nope, incomplete. Dillon on a screen, 2nd and 10. At the 43 of Cleveland. That's caught. 40, 30, 20. Down to the 9. 34 yards. Longest catch for Dillon. And boy, oh boy, this Bengal team is on fire. Just like they were against Cleveland the first time they played them. So maybe the Bengals have the Browns number. We'll go to Corey Dillon, off tackle right, first and goal from the 9. Dillon, no gain, and they'll go no huddle. Medium pass to Hujmanzada. And that's a touchdown to Hujmanzada. That's his second touchdown of the game. Anderson's third touchdown pass. And it's 27-7. Your point after by Graham. Just good. That looked like it was going to go right. And it's 28-7. We have 35 seconds left to go in the half. Angle kick taken by Metcalf and returned past the 50. Could go to the 13. So they were trying to avoid Metcalf, but That gives the Browns 21 seconds and 3 timeouts to score. First and 10 at the 13. You never know when a play is going to go wrong. Touchdown! Warfield, Graham to Warfield, and it's 28-13. It took Cleveland 14 seconds to answer Cincinnati. Your point after try, good by Barr, 28-14, and now the Bengals will get it back one more time. This is Yeast, and he takes it to the 14. Now I got to think Anderson just takes a knee here. That's it. No, Cleveland called timeout, which is futile because I'm just going to keep kneeling. One timeout left. Well, I could still kneel, guys. Come on. This is ridiculous. And 1 second has to go off the clock. There you go. Halftime finally. That was kind of an uncouth way to end the first quarter. First half, I should say. Cincinnati 28. Cleveland 14. So, let's take a look at the halftime stats. This might be one of the longest HTFL games I have done. I'm at 37 minutes and we are only at halftime. 278 total yards for Cincinnati, 141 for Cleveland. Cleveland has 25 plays. Cincinnati has 41. Cleveland will get it to start the first half. Metcalf back deep. Cleveland has the wind for the third quarter, so Cincinnati will have it for the first. Another good return for Eric Metcalf. That 37-yard return is going to put him over 100 on kick returns that I know of. First and 10 at the Cleveland 43. Graham is going to have a big second half in order for Cleveland to get back into this game. He starts off with throwing it to Kellen Winslow Jr., a gain of 21. First and 10, ball at the Cincinnati 36. Jim Brown, he gets loose, as only he can. Gained 203 yards against Las Vegas on Monday night, and he gains 15 right there. He is at 40 yards on the day so far on 5 carries. They haven't been able to use him too much because Cleveland has been facing some significant deficits in this game so far. First and 10 at the 21. Graham throws to Motley, and Motley gains 11. So let's see what Motley's crew could do here. First and goal at the 10. Did you see what I did there? Quick throw, touchdown. That's to Bobby Mitchell. And we have a game, folks, 28-20. Your point after by Barr is good, 28-21 with 2:27 to go. Graham is now 9 out of 20. He was 1 out of 10, so on his last 10 throws, he has completed 8. Yeast back deep for Cincinnati, and that's going to be downed for a touchback. So Cincinnati now trailing, now ahead by just 7 points after having 14-point leads on 3 different occasions. And let's see what Cincinnati can do here. Johnson, trap right. They really need a big play to get momentum back. No gain there. Tackled by Burnett. 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 20. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. Dillon, first down, finds the sideline, runs upfield, gains 14. Corey Dillon, 14 carries, 55 yards. Cincinnati does not want to get into a shootout with Cleveland, so they want to run the ball and keep the tempo going their way and not Cleveland's way. They'll go right back to Dillon on a pitch. Blitz coming, so we'll change it to a screen. And the screen off the mark. Incomplete. Kenny Anderson, 15 of 22, 215 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns. Otto Graham has also thrown for 3 touchdowns. 3 wide set, but it's going to just open up the running lanes a little bit for Corey Dillon. Off tackle right. Dillon, past midfield, in the Cleveland territory, a gain of 20. Steinbeck, one of the linemen for Cincinnati, was hurt, but he stays in the game. Dillon now at 75 yards on 15 carries. Back to Dillon. Pitch it right. Where the tight end is, the right side of the line, and that's going to be no gain. Shirk makes the tackle for Cleveland. They go back to the base formation, bring the tight end over to the left side, and they look for Dillon, pitch left. Dillon's got to be getting tired. Loss of 3 yards. And if we get the first down, we'll take Dillon out and put in another wide receiver. We'll go to A.J. Green here. 3rd and 13. So we need a medium passing play that'll work. The medium crossing route's what we're going to try. Anderson will scramble, but he's going to be short of the first.
Holding offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty.
Johnson called for holding, but it's going to be declined, which sets up 4th and 4 from the 40. And this is an interesting play call here, because Cincinnati is going to go for it. Hujmanzada, short cross. Dumped off, and a first down. Dillon with an 8-yard catch. That's his 3rd catch of the day. 42 yards. Cincinnati was in a no-man's land in that situation. 4th and 5 from the 40. If you punt it, the odds are pretty good it would be a touchback. If you go for it, Cleveland get the ball around their own 40. So Cincinnati went for it, and the gamble paid off. And when you play Cleveland, that's what you got to do. You got to gamble. Now let's see who I could bring in. I'm going to bring in James Brooks to finish off this series for Cincinnati. We're going to go to him, and he is a powerhouse. Off tackle left. Gain of 5. So you got Brooks and you got Pete Johnson in the same backfield. That is going to be a rugged combination. Sweep it left with James Brooks. We'll profile him in a moment. Down inside the 20 to the 15. We have 6:58 left, 3rd quarter. Here he is. He's out of Auburn. In the replay, he has only rushed it twice for 14 yards prior to today, and he has now had it rushed twice for 17. And his only action was against San Diego last week in that 27-24 loss. So he's only had 4 carries so far in this HTFL season. Ball to 15. We're going to go Ross, and we're going to go medium crossing route. Good chance this will be a score if he completes it, but no, incomplete. 50% chance of making a catch and a 45% chance of the touchdown. Brooks, pitch it right. Brooks to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, 6 points, touchdown Bengals. 12 play, 80-yard drive, took out 6:24 off the clock, and that's what the Bengals needed. Graham with the point after, and it's 35-21. Cincinnati with 6:03 left, and as Shirley Bassey would tell you, it's all just a little bit of history repeating. The Propeller Heads also had that single with Shirley Bassey back in the late 90s in that movie what was that movie? There's Something About Mary with Ben Stiller. Great movie, by the way. Holds up well today. And history repeating here in Cincinnati as Cleveland lost to Cincinnati the first time these two teams played, and they're losing by 14. Still got plenty of time left. 6:03 on the clock in the third quarter. Metcalf back deep. Takes it from behind his end zone, and another nice return for Eric Metcalf. 28 yards to the 26. Let's see what Graham can do. 1st and 10 at the 26. Gain of 2 as Brown just caught the pass. Brown now has 6 carries, 42 yards. So he actually rushed it because he has no catches today. So that was actually going to be considered a rush. 2nd and 8 at the 28. Graham incomplete. Casanova with the good coverage was looking for Bobby Mitchell. Graham was. 3rd and 8 at the 28. Throw and a catch incomplete. That was for Benton, but it was broken up by Parrish. So Cincinnati is going to get the ball back. 4:56 left. And we're going to fair catch this one. Just one possession. And that's fair caught at the 16 by Yeast. I'm going to keep James Brooks in the game. I think we had some good success with him on that last series, and I think it will continue. And with the score being 35-21, a 14-point lead, I think that's more important right now than have a guy who could get first downs and could chew up the clock, and I think we have that in Brooks. We'll go to him on a sweep left to start it off. 1st and 10 from the 16. There he goes, past the 20, near the first down. Gain of 8. Ford on the tackle for Cleveland. Pete Johnson on the dive. In fact, you put Brooks, Johnson, and Dillon in a full house formation, and you might see that later, by the way, in this game. That'd be a hell of a combo. Back to Brooks, off tackle left. 1st and 10. We might see it depending on what happens. A gain of a yard. Minifield made a tackle for the Browns. We have 3:18 left now in quarter number 3. Pete Johnson, screen pass. Incomplete. 3rd and 9. They'll go to the 3 wide set and look for Hujmanzada again. Anderson is going to run, but he can't get the first down. A gain of 4. Sets up 4th and 5. Ball is at the 25. Here is Pat McAnally. And that punt returned by Metcalf nicely. A gain of 14. Punt went 44. The net was 30. 35-21. The Bengals lead by 14 still. Here's Otto Graham. 1st and 10. Incomplete, looking for Warfield. And Graham has thrown 5 bad passes. He's throwing them with the wind at his back, which is also kind of concerning if you're a Cleveland Brown fan. 2nd and 10 at the 36. To Jim Brown. A gain of 4. We promised you a look at how Jim Brown is doing. He's got 1,041 yards to this moment, but let's show you the game logs. The only game where he didn't have a 100-yard rushing game was against Pittsburgh. He had 49 yards, and since then he's had 141, 111, 135, 154, 202, and 203. So it seems he's gotten better as the games have gone along. But Cincinnati has held him in check. 7 carries, 46 yards so far. But a lot of that is because Cleveland has been playing from behind most of this game. 3rd and 6, ball at the 40. Mitchell, the intended receiver, deflected by Casanova, and Cincinnati is going to get it back again. 4th and 6, a booming punt by Gary Collins, or at least it sounded that way. I'm going to return it. And that is returned 6 yards by Yeast. Punt went 41, so it sounded a lot better than it was. And the net was 35 yards. 35-21, 4th quarter. About that full house. Brooks, Johnson, and we're going to put Corey Dillon in here. And we're going to try it. We'll go to Pete Johnson first on 1st and 10. Gain of 2 yards. And that will not get us to the end of the 3rd quarter. And this is a fun formation you could probably do a lot with. Brooks on the sweep. 2nd and 8. He gained 5. Now we're at the end of the 3rd quarter. 35-21. Cleveland trailing by 14. Did you know we had a blog? Some of you know by now, but some of you probably just tuning into this first game. This game and maybe seeing the HTFL for the first time and wondering what other subjects and series do I do. Well, you could find out everything I do not only through YouTube, but I've also set up a blog just as a companion piece, just in case one of these days YouTube crashes at a time you're trying to access it. And the web address for the Big Polly's World of Sports Sims blog, I couldn't get it all here on this slide. I use PowerPoint slides, and that's how you see these very nice graphics. Uncle Ron was mentioning that on one of his 1978 Major League Baseball games that he does on Twitch, and then those games are later on shown on YouTube. And I thought, that's a brilliant idea, because I tried it before he had mentioned it, and it didn't go too well. I figured, damn it, I need 2 monitors, and if I have 2 monitors, I'd be able to do this pretty well. But I digress. The web address, Big Polly's World of Sports Sims.wordpress.com. That's Big Polly's World of Sports Sims.wordpress.com. You see it there on the lower left, and I'll just keep it up for about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Back to the game. It's 35-21, Cincinnati leading Cleveland. It's 3rd and 3, and right now Cleveland is facing a full house backfield, but we're going to change that and put 3 wide receivers in. Short pass to Collinsworth. See what happens there. And that call's incomplete. Anderson, 16-26, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. Cincinnati with 383 yards of total offense on 61 plays. Cleveland, 35 plays, 204 yards. Time of possession here, let's just see that. Yeah, Cincinnati has held the ball 30 of the 45 minutes so far, and that's a huge problem for Cleveland. McAnally will punt. They have the win advantage for the 4th quarter, keep in mind. That's a boomer. Returned by Metcalf. That punt went to 52.
Receiving team.
Minifield with an illegal block. They bring Gary Collins in as the 4th wideout on top of him being the punter. 1st and 10 from the 10. Let's see what Otto Graham can do. Trailing by 14 to give to Jim Brown. Brown with 50 yards, so this might be the 2nd worst game for him statistically in terms of rushing the ball. 2nd and 6 at the 14. Again to Brown, but a marker. We'll check that.
Offsides, defense. Number 96, 5-yard penalty.
Penalty will be declined as Brown picked up the 1st down. And he is now at, I'll do a reset here, 58 yards. 1st and 10, ball to 22. 4 wide for Cleveland. over the middle for Paul Warfield, but it's incomplete. And Graham now 9 out of 25. He is not having a good day. And when you play in colder weather conditions, those passing ratings were going to plummet like the stock market did in 1929. Second and 10 at the 22. Long throw, incomplete. Let's check the marker.
Defense. Number 97, 5-yard penalty.
Atkins called for encroachment, and that'll give Cleveland another chance on 2nd and 5. Jim Brown, a gain of 7. Casanova on a stop for Cincy. 1st and 10 now at the 34. Cleveland needs scores, and they need to get them quickly. A gain of 2 for Jim Brown. Atkins on the stop for Cincinnati. Cincinnati playing a dime defense to counter Cleveland using 4 wide receivers. 2nd and 8. Looking for either Benton or Mitchell over. It was Mitchell, and he drops it. 3rd and 8 at the 36. Looking for Benton, but defenders converged on the play for Cincinnati. That's incomplete. Cleveland will have to punt again with 11:58 left. Here's Gary Collins. And that's fair caught by Yeast at about the 25. Make it the 24. And it's 1st and 10 Cincinnati. Brooks, off tackle right, as they go to a base set, and Brooks is held up at the line, tackled by Matthews for no gain. Cincy will want to use clock. They have Corey Dillon in at fullback. That's not going to work. Go back to Pete Johnson. Hang on, folks. We're going to change that right now. Rudy Johnson. No, I want Pete Johnson. Darn it. Here we go. Brooks, off tackle right. That's a gain of 2. 3rd and 8. So they bring in the 3 wide receiver package. And they will go medium pass. And they go to Hujmanzada again. Who catches it? Gain of 12. Back to Brooks. Sweep right. Brooks, no gain. So I think Sam White has seen enough of the James Brooks experiment, and they're going to put Corey Dillon back in. 2nd and 10. Dillon, pitch right. That's no gain. Matthews on the stop. 8:42 left to go. They'll go to Collinsworth, medium fly route. And Anderson throws. Picked off. Cliff Lewis, number 62. With his first pick of the year. Could also play a little quarterback, it seems. So Cleveland, with the door ajar, they're going to try to go through it. 7:52 left in the game. They trail by 14. Let's see what Otto Graham can do. To give to Jim Brown, no gain. Reed makes the tackle for Cincy. 2nd and 10 at the 48. Throw and a catch by Mitchell, a gain of 12. We have to hesitate when one of the 49s catches it because it could be Benton or it could be Bobby Mitchell. 1st and 10 at the 36 of Cincy. Brown's going to get trapped behind the line for a loss of a yard. Parrish on the stop for Cincinnati. 2nd and 11 at the 37. Jim Brown with a little head of steam there. He picks up 8. And it was Ken Riley who came in and made the tackle for the Bengals. 3rd and 3 at the 29. Field goal does not help them here. They need 2 scores. Incomplete. And they bring the field goal team on for some reason. Barr will try a field goal. Wind in his face from 46. And he pushed it right anyway. Cleveland would have been better off going for it, but I'm not coaching them right now. Cincy leading 35-21. We have 6:22 to go. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. As I hear rumbles of thunder, I'm going to try to get through the game. Gain of 11 for Corey. And we're just going to try to get through this quick. Slow it down, says Sam White. Trap right, Dylan again. Marker before the play.
False start. Offense. Number 71, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And that is Anderson called for the false start. So now, as I go to my local Fox station Sky Tower app and see, do I have rain coming? No, I do not. Actually, there is a little bit of a cell to the south and east of me, but we can get this game done, I think. First and 15, ball at the 42. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. He gains 3. The story right now for Cincinnati, it's all about the clock. Pitch right, Corey Dillon, 2nd and 12. And Dillon, running like Bob Dylan used to sing. A gain of 8. He's got 94 yards on the day. And it's 3rd and 4. About a 50-50 chance Pete Johnson makes the first down on a trap left. But we have a marker.
Encroachment defense. Number 80, 5-yard penalty.
And that is Ford who gives up the first down on the encroachment. 1st and 10. 35-21. Bengals leading. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. Playing short and tight, so why don't we change this to an isolate man to Bob Trumpy? Nope, not there. And Cleveland is cheering because Cincinnati threw a pass with a 14-point lead. Off tackle right, Corey Dillon. That's a gain of 6.
Offside.
If it stands,
Defense.
and it will.
Number 72, 5-yard penalty.
Actually, no, they're going to take the penalty. They're going to take the penalty and make it 2nd and 5. So wipe that 6-yard gain off the board for Dillon, but we'll go back to him. Make it up to him. Sweep left. Now he's got his 100 yards. That was a 6-yard gain. And Corey Dillon over the century mark. 3:24 left as that play got out of bounds. Dillon's a little tired, so they'll go back to James Brooks at running back. Brooks, off tackle left. A gain of 4. Ford on the stop for the Browns. Pete Johnson on a dive. 3:19 to go. Gain of a yard. 10th tackle of the day for Clay Matthews. 3rd and 5. Ball at the 26. We're going to go to Ken Anderson on a bootleg. 2-minute warning. We're still going to go to Ken Anderson on a bootleg. And no gain there. Matthews on the tackle for Cleveland. And Cleveland calls a timeout. So they bring in Graham. Try to hit the field goal from 43 yards out. Let's see if Graham can be golden. A 3-score game. If he hits it, he hit it. Cincinnati leading by the exact same score they beat Cleveland when they played up in Cleveland week 3, 38-21. Minute 48 to go. Metcalf back deep for Cleveland, and that is a touchback. So, Otto Graham, 1st and 10 from the 20. Throw to the sidelines, incomplete, looking for Benton. 2nd and 10, ball to 20. Doing this video now an hour and 5 minutes almost. Incomplete. That was a pass intended for Gary Collins. 3rd and 10 from the 20. Sack by... Who got the sack? Dunlap. 4th and 15. Ball at the 15. Cleveland's got to go for it here with 1:27. They have one timeout. That's another sack. And a 12-yard loss. Cleveland now trails by 17. They have it at the 3, Cincinnati does. But I'm not going to be sinister. I am just going to take a knee. Let's get out of here with the win, boys. Take another knee. Let's call this a game. And show some class about it. Take another knee. And that's it. 38-21. The exact same score when they played the first time. Cleveland loses to Cincinnati by the exact score that they lost in week 3. So Cleveland falls to 6-2. Cincinnati goes to 4-4. A wild second quarter where each team scored multiple touchdowns. 21-14 Cincinnati just in that quarter alone. And as I look at the player stats, I think Corey Dillon's got to get player of the game honors. Otto Graham really had an off day, 10 out of 31. And we'll scroll down here and look at the defensive stat sheet. Matthews, 11 tackles, leading everybody for Cleveland. Collins, 43.3 on the punts. Pat McAnally had a good clip, 48.3, and he had one punt at 152. So that's pretty much it. Cincinnati, 428 total yards, 227 for Cleveland. Cincinnati had the ball 40 minutes and 16 seconds, and you don't lose too many games when you have the ball that long. Cleveland ran 77 plays, Cleveland only 44. Let's see what else stands out. Penalties, yeah, it was not the best played game ever in HTFL history, 13 combined penalties. And your scoring summary, Cleveland got to 14 points. Let's see, Cleveland cut it to 7 in the first quarter. Then they trailed 21. Then they came back and were trailing by 7 at one point. And then Cincinnati got the last 10 points and won 38-21. And so, Cleveland falls to 6-2. And let's see where they fall in the power rankings. Will they fall behind New York? They will not. They go down to 61.9, and New York right now 61.4. Cincinnati and Baltimore are tied for second. So Cincinnati holds that advantage based on them beating Baltimore week number 1. They'll play again week 14. Baltimore's 4-4. Pittsburgh's 3-5 and taking up the rear. 3 games behind Cleveland, even with Cleveland losing. Our next 3 games are going to be, and by the way, it was Kenny Anderson who took player of the game honors for Cincinnati. Washington and Dallas, Carolina, Tennessee, Atlanta, Indianapolis, and then also Wednesday night you got Denver and Kansas City. Final 38-21. No, this is not a recording. That was the final score. Cincinnati beating Cleveland. And this has been Big Paulie coming to you this last hour and 8 minutes. Godspeed. God bless. Take care of each other wherever you are and whenever you see this. Bye-bye for now, everybody.